Hi YouTube, how is everybody? I'm pretty good. Thank you to my new subscriber. I hope we get along. I know I told you you're not welcome here, but I'll give you a try. I'll give you another chance here. Don't um play word games with me or do your man shit with me. Don't do that, you know. Or cruel woman stuff, none of that. Just don't do that here. Go find somebody else to play with because I'm just making friends. And if you want to be my friend, fine. If you don't, that's good too. I'm good with that because you aren't going to get to me by insulting Doug. Whatever, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, I started my day this morning watching Roseanne Barr. She's still in Jerusalem, Israel. Um, she's writing a book that'll be interesting, but she's writing speeches. She's going to be speaking around Israel. And just 1 minute here. So, well, about the kids around in the Middle East there that are literally starving and what can be done about it, and then all the way around the world, encompassing everybody and everything. She is feels privileged to be um, a citizen of the United States. She loves our country. Um, but they really, well, okay, here's a for instance, I really felt bad for being that she is of Jewish descent and she's in Jerusalem. I mean, like, my God, what a experience. And but she's not allowed to go and pray in the temple. Um, now I'm not going to say any. I'm not sure if it includes all the synagogues. I'm just saying it's against international law for her to um, be on. I forget what she called the eminence, the head dude, the rabbi supreme. Um, but so she couldn't get in and meet him or be there because it's against international law for anybody not of that country to do that. But then she was saying um, how the papist was over there 3 different times since she's been there. Tell me, what is the Catholic and the Jewish people doing 3 different times in like a short span, you know? Um, I don't know for sure the time length, but she said since I have been here that he's visited him 3 times. And I'm thinking, yeah. So she asked everybody's opinion and I said, well, for one thing, some people thought it's New World Order. There's nothing new. It's always been the same. They've always played their I'm a separate country, but I'm not game. It's just a damn game. So I said, probably hiding their wealth and then hiding themselves from God, So, yeah. So I really felt for her that, and then I wrote, well, if, those Jewish people from Israel came over to the United States in a synagogue, they'd be welcome. When I was deciding what denomination I was or wasn't after I learned the whole story, but because I just believe in Jesus Christ and have spirituality and I'm not anybody's anything. So, but anyway, I believe in God, the Almighty. That's it. So, whatever you call that, spirituality. Um, Of course, a lot of people have that too, and the spirit's name is Satan. So if somebody says spirituality, you could be a little leery of that. But But I went and sat in the synagogue when I was 15. I was deciding whether or not to become a member of my church. So, uh, and I was welcomed. I sat towards the back, but I was still welcome. And it was odd to me, but I did learn more than I knew before going in there. I went in mosques, I went in Catholic, every denomination you could think of under the sun in Minneapolis, which is everybody. Um, I went in there to see what their churches were all about and how they praise God, you know. So yeah, and then I read a lot of things in my church's library that had everybody's religion, well, down to small tribes of people even, but describing a lot of those also around the world. So I got to really get an education on everybody's spiritual beliefs, even before I made my decision in my own heart. So, but also recognize that people were spiritual all the way around the world, no matter what, you know. And, we all know um, there could be maybe somebody undercover in Satanist cult that's believes in Jesus Christ. There could be, well, even Satan believes in Jesus Christ, if you see what I'm saying. So if somebody says, I believe in God, or I believe in Jesus Christ, or I'm spiritual, well, so what? But actions do speak louder than words, and what we write and what we speak and how we treat people. So your first impression sometimes pretty important. And well, anyway, back to Roseanne. I really felt bad for her and gave her my opinion that I thought, they're just playing their same old games, but they know that something's up in the world, that the feeling of the strength of power seems to be lessening. They just feel like they're losing their grip and their minds because they are. God's taken over. So slowly but surely, but the more you feel it, the quicker it will start to roll. Kind of like inertia, momentum, like a ball. You roll it and, you know. So, yeah, Doug was telling me today, he's like, he should get me another horse to ride and, or, even more. Doesn't matter if you have like three or four, it's the same as feeding one. And I'm thinking, actually, no, it's not. And then I was going to say back to that, when you have a lot of animals, and I won't get any more than what I've got right now, and take care of them because you're always homebound with livestock. So they need your care every day. And then when you have cats and dogs, well, even horses or the chicken, when you leave your animals, even for a day or in somebody else's care, they're pissed. They're pissed when you get home at the end of the day because you weren't there every moment catering to their little brains. That's the way animals are, So if you want to travel in life, I would suggest not getting animals unless you can take them all with you, because they'll be mad at you when you get back. There's no doubt in my mind. I had somebody watching the house and my animals and um, took Bob with me and left my horse in Chibi and my dog to go visit my newborn granddaughter. And when I got home a couple days later, my animals were angry and wouldn't talk to me. And the same with my dog. When I went to Texas for a week, she was with Doug, but still, I was gone. And when I came back, she would not speak to me for a long time. She was pissed. Her feelings were hurt. I don't blame her. What can I say? So it's always something to consider. And he's like, oh, I'll buy you anything. You know that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know that. But yeah. ain't going to buy me sticking around homebound when I want to do some traveling. Which reminds me, on Robin's Hood, he was talking about going to Florida. I've been there. I was thinking about going back again, but I don't know that I'm in the mood right now. But perhaps in the future or something, I might pop in and say, hey, you know. But yeah, if the earth is going to get warm, I'm going to Lake Superior, and that's clean water, fresh water, even drinkable in the mountains there. It's or in Montana, back up in the mountains up by Canada and Utah and up in there. If stuff's warm, I'm heading out to the mountains. I'm gonna anyway, but the sooner the better for me, you know. So yeah, but I do want to travel later in life, you know. But yeah, depending on what's going on, I mean, I guess I could have somebody watch my animals for a day or so and just pop in. If everybody's going to be in Florida, I might. Depends on what's going in my life at that moment, you know. So yeah, personally, and with my animals, I'd probably be able to find somebody to take care of them, but I don't know. The last guy that did it is actually in a wheelchair right now. He's like used to be a pretty good friend until he was trying to drink himself to death. So yeah, I've seen guilt and shame kills like the spirit of a lot of men and women. You know, but the thing is, if you don't stop what you're doing to yourself, you know, spiritually, um, it will kill you. Oh boy, let's see what else is going on. Oh, I watched some artists today. A guy named Ako, Ako, from Africa. Got he's got skill. He does nice work. So, let's see what else. Oh, I don't know. Just been so warm out now the last couple days. Like I was saying, it was baloney with what they called the Arctic vortex. Is just a Canadian clipper to us, and it's a La Nina year, so it's warmer. And it was uh, about 36 degrees today, maybe a little warmer, like say high noon or about 1 or 2. It might have been about 37, 38, but yeah. So, and as soon as the sun starts going down our hill, our yard cools off real quick in the evenings anyway. So, um, yeah. But it was nice for this time of year in Minnesota. Oh, yeah. Can't beat that. Oh, and I always usually watch Lionel. I see he just put his live stream through for this evening, so he does it twice a day and usually more. He's a trooper for real. Um, Doug and I had a word debate on the word coup, and I'm like Coupe, and he's like Coup, and I said, he said, and it's French. I said, yeah, but the French spelling is Coup, and that was the etymology of the word, and I knew that. So I pulled it up, and oh yeah, I pulled up the Oxford Dictionary, which the dark forces like to push. But I have my old Merriam-Webster Dictionary, 1921, first edition, the only one that will tell you the code of the Illuminati, period. And so I pulled that out, and yep, COUPE, Anglo French. I was like, yes, I knew it, you know. So yeah, and that's a very interesting word. Yeah, look up well, on Google it'll come up COUP, a coup. So you might want to look that up or not. But yeah, so yeah, we have these. Well, I won't call them word wars, but he thinks that he knows words better than I do, and I say he doesn't. And but it doesn't mean he doesn't know them. You know, he knows them. It's just that I dig a little deeper into him. So yeah, because this is war, baby. You know, you can't get ahead of me with the words. Only one person I've ever heard that could, and that would be Lionel. Lionel Nation, the word master, and the master adhere to our Constitution. He's the wisest man, is holding that Constitution in his hand and knows exactly what he's speaking about. He'll find it. He'll find it. That's the type of lawyer he is. In fact, uh, yeah, um, working for an attorney would be interesting. I got to actually represent myself more than once, but the one time in particular, the judge taught me how to study in the law library. So once I had that under wraps, and I knew that I could just even go into a library and get some law books if they were up to date and read on statutes or sub statutes. And I kept up with all of that as a business person right up to about 2008, because that's when the housing market fell through, and I was working for a real estate broker and insurance agent combination. So, but right up till then, I was keeping up with all the state and federal laws and all the sub statutes, and you just like anything, and especially online, it's beautiful because you can look up anything you want, everything. Just ask Google, for even in your state. So, I mean, that's wonderful when you think about it, Yeah. And yes, I won my case. And there's another thing too. If you go into a court a lot, I wouldn't want an attorney. I mean, I would have to be blood relative, and even then it'd be freaking iffy because you're handing your soul over to the courts. There's one or two things, which I was born a ward of the court. I was an orphan, so there's that if you're an infant. But if you're a ward of the court, you sign your rights over to the court by signing that statement for an attorney. You are deeming yourself unfit in the eyes of the United States laws. You're unfit if you get a lawyer. You're telling them courts you're out of your mind and you can't represent yourself. You're crazy. You're too stupid to represent yourself. And really stupid if you get an attorney. That's my opinion. So, like I said, depending on the attorney. But If there's paperwork that you need to file, that's what the clerk of court's there for with the notary for the public, you know. Do your own shit and then it doesn't cost you that money, that type of thing, you know. Why not? Look it up, get the state statutes or the sub statutes, everything pertaining, even cases of what went what way or why pertaining to that case of yours, and then go forward on your own with a mindset of exactly what you want to do, and you can accomplish in the courts by yourself. And you'll run into these clerk of courts like, well, you'll have to have an attorney file that. I said, no, ma'am, I'm going to have this notarized either here or with a notary down the road in this type of thing. So file this paper. I'll go across the um, hallway to the county attorney and deal with him and talk about you, you know, that type of thing. So it's like, so whatever. And then go right in and talk to the county attorney before I, just like any discovery with my rights, you know, do it yourself. Why not? Because I figure when I know what I want out of life and I read it in the court of law, I absolutely know that I'll be representing myself stronger than anybody else would and with more intelligence, most likely. Because just like any paraprofessional, which I was for emotionally disturbed teens, youth, and adults, believe me. But anyway, but even doing your own work like a paraprofessional, like attorney's assistant, they have people looking up stuff for them all the time. You know, it's like this, that, or next thing, and they come together with everything they got on that full guns, you know. That's what you can do for yourself. I mean, if you're fighting for yourself, you're fighting, you know. So, but I wouldn't sign my name deeming myself unfit the court of law in this country at this moment in time and day and the way this world is anywhere in the world. I wouldn't give my control of myself over to my country. No effing way. And I also was emancipated by the state of Minnesota, actually, and literally. Um, the word emancipation is really interesting that I divorced my adopted parents, but along with that came a whole new set of substatutes, which is really interesting for my life at this moment. So you might want to look up emancipation too and dig into that some of the terminology and definitions that go down quite far. Check out a few of them, you'll be surprised. You know. So yeah. And then with Native American blood, that's also sovereign, you know. So yeah, I got some things I gotta do in my life. This next, say, 10 years, you know. It'll be interesting. Is that a line of stuff on my phone? Probably tobacco. So yeah. Oh, now the snow is melting, and we still didn't really get enough to snowboard. There's only about 3 inches. There was about 3 inches of fluff, which is okay, but it was still icy underneath, so that's not a good idea. Not yet. But in March, we usually get off a lot of snow. Almost most of our snow, um, we get like right the first couple weeks of December. I mean, we'll get some before that a few times, but nothing really, really big, except for one Halloween snowstorm we had that was like 3 feet of snow just dumped it on us, and yeah, I was in town with the kids and I did get home, but I was lucky. You know, my sons. But then I had a front wheel drive, a little truck type thing called a Rampage, and it was front wheel drive and Dunlap, all radio tires, and it's like, yeah, no problem. Could just about plow snow with a really good front wheel drive. I mean, it goes right through it, just like a snowmobile's front end. If you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy. But yeah, it was a little treacherous. But yeah. Oh, let's see what else is going on. Uh, oh, um, I saw the Overdue Champion. I didn't watch him, but I saw he had some stuff on protecting yourself from EMPs and whatnot. We got this. Oh, it's just the cloth that actually goes over our Wi-Fi, and it's EMP protection. And I never put a phone in my head, not one of them. Nope. I got a landline phone that, so no. So yeah, let's see. I won't use Bluetooth or earplugs or none of that stuff in my head. So yeah, and also on our so-called smart meter, we've got what is it? Aluminum around that, not aluminum foil, but like sheets of aluminum, because we got a body shop, so we got stuff, you know, or we know where to get it when we need it for a project or whatever. So, but I don't know really what's all going on with our government. I just know that all the way around the world, they're all connected and they're all full of bullshit. Same with the churches and same with most people. And they won't know until they know they can't get away with it. They just won't know till that day. That's the way what this world has come to. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do till then, and then they will pay for it for a very long time. It has come down to that. It's the people that tried to change things all the way around the world and dupe your fellow man, totally hurt them or set them back, or it's the ones that know full well that they're saying just a little something off or something like that. Those are the ones that are going to have to suffer the most because they literally are taking part of other people's demise, you know. Oh, Roseanne said something funny. She's chewing on something. She said, um, oh, I just figured out why old people are always like chewing on something. She's like, and because they eat a lot of nuts. And I'm thinking, yeah, I just had some pecans last night and might have sunflower seeds tonight, sunflower nuts, maybe. So, but I'm going to make some spaghetti just to have a little bit of that. But yeah, with I like to put Havarti cheese. It's a Danish cheese. Oh, it's so good. I like to put Havarti on my spaghetti. It's better than mozzarella or provolone or Parmesan. It's really good. super creamy and kind of like a cross between a provolone and mozzarella in flavor, but creamier. So I don't know. It's really good. My favorite, I think, one of my favorites, aside from a really aged cheddar. I love that. So, I'm a cheese lover. I love cheese. Lionel was talking about making like a tofu scramble, like for breakfast and stuff. That sounds so good. I love, love tofu, but I'm allergic to soy. But I wish I could eat it. You know, that would be so good. I might one of these days. I used to make it a lot and put it in a lot of things, but not supposed to. But yeah, if I take one of my allergy pills and watch it, it's the same with the spaghetti sauce, tomatoes. It's like, yeah, just a little bit. I can, you know, not get too carried away. So, well, I'm gonna let you go. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.